Hello guys, welcome to my channel once more. Today I would like us to look at one popular attack which is used by malicious actors, which is called cross-site scripting. Have you ever wondered why some people say that money had been withdrawn from their account without their knowledge? Or you might have been a victim of that in the past. If you have encountered such a situation, then you might have gone through what we call cross-site scripting, which is formally abbreviated as XSS. What is cross-site scripting? Cross-site scripting is a type of attack whereby a hacker or a malicious actor is able to trick a user of a web application into carrying out an unintended action. Let's say, for example, that you are a client in UBA Bank and you do mobile banking activities, meaning that you use their web application in transferring money to people or receiving money from other people. What the hacker or what the malicious actor does is that he tries as much as possible to trick you into sending money or into transferring money into his own account without your knowledge. How is this being done? Now, what the attacker or the purpose of the attacker or his main objective is to steal what we call session cookies or to steal your cookies or to steal your cookies. What are cookies? Cookies refers to information which is stored online whenever you visit a web browser or whenever you visit a web application. That means that whenever you are browsing, information about you is stored in the cookies. What cookies also does is that it takes note of every information and the time which a client spends on a web application or on a website. Another important aspect of cookies is that cookies enables fast communication between you, the client, and the server. What do I mean? What I mean here is that whenever you place a request that you want to withdraw or you want to transfer money to another account, what happens is that that request is sent to a web server. When that request is sent to a web server, the web server checks if your credentials are okay. And if your credentials are okay, the web server sends back a return message to you that your credentials are okay, and then you can do that transfer. Now, what cookies does is that instead of you placing a query all the time or a request all the time on the server, cookies store the information which is supposed to be stored in the server so that if you want that information within that browsing session, you can be able to get it easily without necessarily placing multiple requests on the server. Now, let's look at a diagrammatic representation of cross-site scripting for better understanding. Now look at the diagram in front of you. You will see that you see an attacker on the left-hand side, you see a victim on the right-hand side, and then you see a trusted website or the web application. Or take, for example, that it could be your UBA web application here. Now, what the attacker does is the attacker crafts a malicious link and sends to the victim, which is you in this case. Now, once you receive this could be through an email or this could be through instant messaging, like through WhatsApp or through Messenger. Now, once you click on this link, what you are doing is that a session or a browsing session is opened between you and your web application. And now you are able to transfer, maybe you are able to transfer money or effectuate payment of money to somebody without knowing that you have also opened a browsing session for the attacker. What am I saying? What I am saying here is that when you click on the link, you are indirectly opening a browsing session for you and the attacker. So what the attacker does is that since you have opened the browsing session, he now steals your cookies. He steals the information, the browsing information for that session, and now he is able to visit the website to effectuate activities on that website, like maybe placing a request on transferring money to his own account without you even knowing. So that is what the attacker does. The interesting question now is, for how long does this attack last? If you, the victim, you are here and you have been browsing for 30 minutes, Does it mean that the attacker is going to continuously be using your session cookies for that 30 minutes? Is it possible that if you log out of that application, could the attacker be locked out? The question is, or the answer here is no. That is why we are going to be looking at types of cross-site scripting. There are two major types of cross-site scripting. We have persistent cross-site scripting and we have non-persistent cross-site scripting. From the name persistent cross-site scripting, it is something continuous. It is something that is almost permanent. So what happens in this case? What the attacker does is he crafts his malicious links and then he puts it on a website which he knows that many people visit that website. It could be like a Facebook page, meaning that this malicious code remains persistently active on that Facebook page, meaning that anybody that visits that page automatically his information, his cookie, his session information is directed to the attacker. That means in the case of persistent cross-site scripting, the attacker is not only targeting one person, but is targeting numerous amount of people. Now, when it comes to non-persistent cross-site scripting, this is the type of cross-site scripting which lasts only for a particular session. It could last for as much as you, the owner of that web application or the owner of that account in that bank, is browsing. Let's say, for example, that you are browsing for 30 minutes. The attacker too could continuously craft or continuously effectuate his activities for that 30 minutes. This is because this type of information, the cookies in this in the situation of non-persistent cross-site scripting does not last for long. So that is just what cross-site scripting is all about. Now, what can we do to prevent cross-site scripting? The first thing we can do is to use what we call HTTP only flags. What is HTTP only flags? HTTP only flags refers to a way in which we can block clients, third parties from accessing those cookies. If we activate HTTP only flags, it means that anybody that tries to steal those cookies will not be able to get those cookies because we have activated HTTP only flags. And by so doing, we are safe from cross-site scripting. Another way in which we can mitigate cross-site scripting is by educating users on the type of links which they click, especially when they receive them on emails. They should be able to know how phishing emails operate. Initially, this attack was initiated because the victim or the client clicked on a link and then effectuated session cookies to be transferred to the victim or to the attacker. So if users of a web application are educated on the type of links they should open or they should click, it is going to go a long way to save people from cross-site scripting. Another way or another method of mitigating cross-site scripting is for developers to continuously scan their web applications, making sure that they close all the vulnerabilities on that application. By so doing, cross-site scripting is going to be mitigated. Thank you for having learned with me and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.